Lessons learned migrating from UV3 to UV4. My name is Kait Sewell, and I'm a senior software engineer at SoftServeByScientist.com. First, I'll talk about how to prepare for the upgrade, then how to do the upgrade, and finally, I'll cover all the things we had to fix to get the upgrade to work. We prepped for this upgrade by first planning how we would make the changes we needed to, and how we would incorporate them into our current implementation. We decided the best course of action was to create a feature branch and do all of our work separate from the main code base until all of the kinks were worked out. I highly recommend this pattern for your upgrade because this process was made easier for us because we were able to contain our messy, broken, partially upgraded code in a testing environment until we were fully prepared to release our upgrade into the wild. The upgrade itself was relatively simple. All we had to do was update the version number of Universal Viewer in the package JSON file, and then run npm install in a running web container. Like most upgrades, the actual upgrade process was quick and easy. Only it's not that easy. This next part is all about the things that we needed to fix before this upgrade made it to production. So not everything broke after the upgrade, but enough did break that it was really great that this was often a feature branch. We were able to thoroughly test our feature branch so that we could triple check that everything that worked in version 3 now works in version 4. Surprise, surprise, it did not. So what we needed to do to fix. So what did we need to do to fix it? And how did we do it? Well, let's dig in. We're going to look at a lot of code. So full text search worked before the upgrade, but after, we couldn't allow a user to navigate through the resource by clicking on the search results like we had previously been able to do. This ended up actually being an issue with the Universal Viewer itself. So one of my teammates put up a PR against UV proper to actually fix the navigation problem. And that's what you're looking at here. And then all we had to do for our code was we upgraded our version to 4.0.0 pre-103 to incorporate the new change, and we were off to the races. Only that wasn't the only thing that broke. So resizing from full screen view didn't work. When you were in UV, it would stay in full screen view despite hitting the resize button. So first we manually fixed this and we added a solution that you're looking at here. We were able to manually get this working on our side again, but as with a lot of open source projects, someone else had this problem too. So we were actually able to bump our version up to 4.0 pre-105, and then we removed our manual fix that you're looking at here. All we needed to do was actually bump up our version, and the new pull of UV had the change that we needed. So one of our custom features was that we would display the full text on the page below the UV box. After the upgrade, we got 2 copies of it. So, not exactly what we were asking for. Luckily, this only took 1 PR to fix, other than the past couple that took at least 2 PRs to fix. But it did cause us to, be really selective about how we're pulling this information into the page and when we're clearing that information out of the page. Another thing that broke, do you have your UV embedded somewhere else? We did, and we ran into a security issue. We weren't able to actually get it to embed. So what you see here on line 74, where we set this configuration of embedded true, by adding that parameter, we were able to allow for the embedding. And this fixed our security issue, and we were able to embed UV in our other site properly without the security issue anymore. Almost there, folks. So after the upgrade, something changed about how UV Universal Viewer 4 included the dependencies. So it wasn't pulling the OpenSeaDragon extensions it needed to work. So we did the simplest thing possible. We simply moved all of the configuration in one place so it could be easily grabbed. So we just moved all of our configuration into our UV config JSON, pulled it out of our UVC Dragon extension config JSON, and updated our copying of that file in our package JSON file that you can see here in the code. And so by doing that, we were able to grab all the configurations we needed. And I mean, no, we weren't reducing the amount of code, but we were kind of eliminating files, which is generally a good thing. Speaking of removing things, we also found out that Universal Viewer 4 wasn't using formatted locales. So as a cleanup, we simply remove them. I mean, if you don't need it, pull it out. It'll be less confusing for the person who follows after you. So after the upgrade, our link went to the wrong place. So I don't entirely know why the link changed or why we had to reroute it. But after the upgrade, our iframe link was not correct. And so to fix it, we just updated our routes file. It was a little bit hacky. You know, this isn't the cleanest code you're ever going to see, but it did get the job done, and we were able to fix the routing and get it to populate properly. So now that we'd made all these changes, we wanted to make sure that we got Universal Viewer 4, not Universal Viewer 3, the cached configuration. So first we tried changing the cache settings, and that almost worked. But what really worked for us and what we ended up having to do was we had to set a parameter that forced the pull of a new configuration when a new one was available. So basically what's happening here is it's looking for the version number, and if the version number doesn't match what's on the page, then it's going to grab a new configuration. And this is a really old version. As you can see, that's like 1 point something. It's pretty arbitrary. As long as it's much lower than the version you're close to, you will be fine. But we had to do this because just the caching settings we set weren't enough to make sure that we got a fresh pull of UV4 when we loaded our website. Okay, so for a fully comprehensive list of what we had to change to make UV4 work for us is captured in this giant PR. It has 58 pages of changes, but most of it is getting rid of files we no longer need. So I hope this primer helps you on your journey of upgrading Universal Viewer. What you need to fix in your app will most likely be different in some way, but I hope that what we went through will help you find your way. So in summary, I'd like to suggest that you plan how you'll integrate your changes. I wish you so much luck during the actual upgrade process. That should be pretty easy, hopefully. And my final advice is test thoroughly before you let that code out into the wild. Thank you so much for your time. We have a little bit of time for Q&A if anyone has any questions.